there, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I haven't vlogged for a while because I had to send the camera to Canon for it to be repaired. The shutter wouldn't open, so I haven't been able to vlog. Now I'm kind of realising I probably need two vlogging cameras, so I may have to invest in another one just in case, you know, one doesn't work, because I've quite missed not vlogging. It's Saturday the 10th of June and I decided today I'm going to talk about my anxiety and how I've dealt with it, or how I didn't know I even had anxiety. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I came to this country when I was 8 years old. Sometimes I keep looking up to look at the monitor rather than in the lens, so I'm still getting used to this vlogging. Even though I've watched many YouTube channels, I'm still doing it now myself. I'm still getting used to it, so you're just gonna have to roll with it and just forgive me if I'm not looking at the lens. I'm trying to do that today. Anyway, yes, I came to this country when I was 8. So I was nearly 8. I think it was late summer. But as far as I'm concerned, it was cold when I got here. Anyway, I travelled on my own. I tell the children that I care for, look after in my childcare business. But I tell them this story every so often, and they say, "Oh, not again." The ones who've heard it before. I said, "Well, there's other children that don't know this about my life." I travelled on my own. In them days, you could travel on your own. Well, it was allowed. It was in the late 60s. Not giving away my age. I'll tell you my age one day. Anyway, it was late 60s. I travelled on my own. I lived with my grandparents. I'm sure I called her grandma. Was it grandma? I don't think I knew Nanny. I'm sure it was grandma. I'm sure it was Grandma Olive. My older sister will correct me. Grandma Olive and Papa. And my aunts and my cousins. One cousin in particular. Yeah, so I lived in the island of Spice, Grenada. So I travelled to meet my parents. I hadn't met them before. That's another story. I'll talk about that another time. I'm just going to talk about anxiety. Anyway, I came on the aeroplane on my own. The air stewardess, we used to call them in them days. They looked after me. I'm sure it was more than one or two that cared for me. And I do remember being sick on the plane. I'm sure, I don't think that happened to me again. It was then, I think, when I came over, because I'd never been on a plane before. We call them plane, I'm sure in them days. It wasn't airplane, or maybe it was aircraft. But anyway, I've had vision for years, and even now I can see my grandma on the concourse waving to me, because in them days it was a smaller aircraft. I'm sure that aircraft took us to somewhere else, maybe Barbados, and then from there we took the bigger I don't know, BOAC I think it was called at the time, British something, I can't remember. Anyway, my anxiety, I've lived with anxiety as long as I didn't realise I had anxiety, or I'm not going to call it a problem because I've lived with it for years. I'm in my 50s now. I've lived with it for all this time. So it dawned on me a few months ago. I think the people I follow on Instagram, in particular this lady, Penny, web design, yeah, I'm all tongue-tied and getting very nervous now. It's called Green Ginger Design. She spoke about it, or somebody else spoke about it, and then she mentioned how we live with certain things in our life and we don't even realise. And it got me thinking. I thought, gosh, you know what, I've lived with anxiety for all my life, and I didn't think about, if I thought about it, I didn't put it in context to think, oh God, yeah, although I'm not going to make it the bane of my life, the problem of my life, because I've dealt with it. I've how do I feel when I just feel really anxious, and yeah, having to go and use the bathroom more often than not It's something that's internally, and you just feel like really nervous, and you try not to let others realise that you're going through that, because I think my family would be quite astonished and surprised to know that I suffer with anxiety, because it hasn't stopped me from carrying on with my life and doing what I need to do. It doesn't stop me from, you know, going high up or going on a plane. High up meaning heights, going on an aircraft, doing what I want to do. But I don't know, maybe I've just learned to control it. Being where I know helps me, because for instance, when I went to stay in at my mum's house in Grenada, I couldn't stay there on my own, and maybe that's for most people, I don't know. Most people can't stay somewhere on their own, but I found it, yeah, I was too anxious and I didn't realise I'd feel that way. Anyway, I got a young chaperone, that my cousin's son actually, so he's my cousin's son, so he's a cousin. Anyway, he came and stayed, and I did feel much better that someone of the country kind of, now maybe that's just normal for some people, but there are some people who do go somewhere and stay on their own in the house and don't have anxiety, but I was very anxious. There's one occasion a few years ago where I was driving back to work, and there was too much going on in my head, and I thought, sugar, what am I going to do now? There's too much. It wasn't voices, it was like I was just overthinking whatever it was, and I thought, right, I don't know what told me to park the car and just calm down, breathe, calm down, take it easy, it will be fine. And this is what I was telling me, it'll be fine, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And I just sat quietly for a while, and lo and behold, that helped me. That hasn't happened many times in my life, maybe a couple of times, but it's just too much going on. You're overthinking things, and it's like, yeah, as I said, I stopped the car and I sat down and I was fine. Yeah, so I don't know whether I need to I don't know, go to my GP and talk about it, because I think I'm dealing with it, and I deal with it fine, because I don't think anyone, I've mentioned it to a few friends that, you know, I suffer with anxiety, and they're like, really? They're quite astonished. They didn't believe it. They think, but you just get on with life, and you're just fine and jolly and bubbly, and you would never know. I said, well, obviously I know how to deal with it. I've just worked it out, basically, how to just calm down and not, oh, my daughter's coming in while I looked over there. But as I said, it hasn't affected my life whatsoever. I've gone on to do many things, and there's many more I'd like to do. I like to jump out of a plane. I think, will I do that? I'm not sure. I say I will, but maybe when it comes to it, I might be too anxious. I don't know. I do most things in life. Anyway, yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. Please subscribe, press the like button, that would help me a lot. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you on the next one.